According to Statistics SA, half the children in the country don't live with their biological fathers. Many societal issues have been tied to absent fathers in society. Links have been made between access and relationship children have with their fathers and how likely they are to commit a crime. To highlight the important role fathers play, Heartlines has established Fathers Matters initiative to promote the positive and active presence of fathers in children's lives. At the centre of the project are the Heartlines Fathers Matter films, 6 anthology films set in various contexts across South Africa. To discuss this, we are now joined by Head of Heartlines, Department of Correctional Services Unit, Gosiame Masike. Gosiame, appreciate your time this afternoon. Would you share more about the professional experiences that led to you to advocate for positive and active presence of fathers in children's lives, especially considering your role as a single father?
Firstly, let me greet all the viewers at home. Yeah, with Heartlines, as you opened it very nicely so, about saying that as Heartlines we want to encourage fathers to be actively, positively present in the lives of their children. And then with the work that we've been doing, especially recently, engaging with students in different schools. And we discovered that most of the children that, especially from high primary schools, they are living without their fathers. And then that's on its own, it has a huge impact, an impact of not having direction, not having guidance, and then not having proper channels that one should live. For an example, Gosiame, I don't know my father as well. And then that on its own, the impact that it had on me, living a life whereby you don't have direction, I know what it's like.
Now, in your op-ed, you highlighted the link between the absent fathers and crime. How do you envision breaking the cycle, and what role can fathers play in preventing their children from engaging in criminal activities?
That's very interesting, because now what we do with correctional services, we are working with juveniles. These are the offenders who are from the age of 12 to 16 years, some 17, 18. And then mostly when we engage with them, one of the things that we ask them is that, where are you from and then why you are here? Definitely the answer will be, we are here because we are from families where we don't have fathers who could have given us direction and then who could guided us. And then that on its own, it creates a huge gap in the society. We are seeing this because as Heartlines, we have done a bigger research, a huge research on to find out why 60% of these children, they live without absent fathers in their lives. And then we want to encourage fathers to step in. As I was saying earlier with my story, I ended up being in a situation whereby I get into gangsterism because I'm inspired by these bad role models that we find in our communities.
So what has the response from fathers been? Particularly
Repeat that again?
So what has the response from fathers been, particularly those that don't live with their children?
You know what, the thing is that we get different responses, especially now we look at why fathers are not present. We find that some of the issues, the unemployment, it's a barrier for fathers to be part of their lives of their children. Because when you are a father and then you are not working, automatically your responsibilities are being shifted. And then these are the things that we find. And then we find that when you are a structured family, whereby a wife is the one who becomes a provider, and then the father now becomes the person who is stuck in that situation whereby you can't provide for your family. And then some of them, they will end up holistically distancing themselves from being present. And then the other thing that we discovered is that fathers, when it comes to this cultural thing, the cultural practice that we say fathers must pay intlawulo. How can you pay intlawulo whilst you are not working? And then whilst you don't have income as a father, that on its own, it leads to that thing that we talk about, mental stress that fathers are experiencing due to the fact that they want to be present, but due to the situation that they are not working, they can't provide for their families. And again, they have to pay this intlawulo, which is something that we need to elaborate more and engage the larger society. Even the issue again of mothers becomes gatekeepers. You find that when we say two elephants are fighting and the grass is suffering, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about why fathers again are not present. The co-parenting, whereby the other parent doesn't meet the other halfway in addressing and in growing this poor child.
Now, one of the things that you speak about is you raising your daughter as a single parent and the stigmas associated with that. Walk us through what that stigma is and how you've had to deal with it.
You know what? We are growing in a society whereby when you are a father, fathering a girl child, it's a taboo. It's a taboo because these are things that we grew up not familiar with. When a father is raising a daughter, already in the society that we are living in, there will be that thing of saying, no, or if I may share the experience, the people, they had to come to my door. And the police, in fact, they had to come to my door and say, there's a concern in the community that there's a daughter staying here, and then he stays with a male figure. Automatically, that for me, it was, wow. Fortunately, we are living in the society that it's aware of what is happening in its surrounding. Because most of the time, we are living in this society where they are ignorant. But the stigma around that is that people, they are not used of a father, especially fathering a girl child. And then these are the things that, as Heartlines, we want to address with the society.
Now, I want to come back to the issue of Nhlawulo that you spoke of. You suggest that it is a challenge for men that make women pregnant out of wedlock and aren't employed. But it almost suggests the negation of responsibility because you know that you are unemployed when you make this individual pregnant. So surely there's got to be some form of responsibility that is accorded or accepted by the men.
That's honestly true, because now the unfortunate part is that we don't have a control regarding that. We can't go to individuals and teach them and how to conduct themselves. These are the things that are happening individually. So then as Heartlines, that is why we are trying to bring fathers to the fore